The next bill is a bill to establish teacher maximums. So the main goal of this bill is to prevent teacher overload and to reduce class sizes. So it basically ensures that teachers can actually focus on the quality of education instead of like quantity of students that they teach. And the limits it sets are that there are going to be a maximum of 25 students in every class, and every teacher is only allowed to have a maximum of 90 students a year. And the funding for this is coming from the Department of Education. So the Department of Education annual budget is increased by $10 billion by this bill. So that will help the schools hire more teachers and make this teacher-student dynamic better, essentially. And enforcement mechanisms are that non-compliant schools will lose like federal funding until they fix the issue, which is a clearly big incentive to actually follow the rule because public schools run on funding. So without that funding, they would obviously not be able to run at all, essentially. So it does force them to follow this rule. And the bill overall, as I said, aims to improve teacher-student interaction by making sure that teachers are not overburdened. And to just add more context to the bill, in the status quo, teachers are often overworked and underpaid. And while it may seem like they're not doing much during like summer break and things like that, the truth is that a lot of teachers face really high burnout rates during the time that we are in school, just due to the sheer amount of students that they have to handle, grade, teach, etc. And this is especially true for teachers that teach harder classes like honors, APs, and whatever's equivalent to that. So teacher burnout is a really big problem that we're facing in the status quo, and but another big problem we're facing is also teacher shortages recently. So there are less teachers than there once were, or essentially we're losing like the trajectory of teachers that we're getting each year. And some holes that I see in this bill that are important to look at is that it basically talks about how we're going to hire 800,000 new teachers to help with the current issue, but only increases the budget by 10 billion, meaning these teachers would essentially be paid like $12,500 a year, which is incredibly low and a really big hole in this entire bill. And also adding on, it seems to kind of ignore schools that follow the semester system like Riverside High School, because while a 90 student maximum may seem appropriate for a teacher who teaches year-long classes, for ones that teach semester long, that's essentially like only 45 students a semester, which is not even 2 full classes according to this bill. So they wouldn't really be having, other teachers who teach year-long classes would have a much bigger burden than teachers who teach semester classes. So those are also things that we should focus on.